Global Entrepreneurship Week story of an entrepreneur. And today I have with me Orsi Parkanyi from Women as Entrepreneurs. Welcome, Orsi.
Thank you for having me.
Great. Orsi, when and how did your entrepreneur story begin?
It began end of last year. I spent the past 10 years in academia. I studied environmental science and I studied business and also engineering management. And I just felt that science, the path, I wasn't on the right path. I felt really lonely being a researcher and working in the lab. So I thought that maybe corporate was my path, but it turned out that it wasn't. I wasn't really comfortable with the concept of making money for someone else. So I decided to become an entrepreneur, which I knew nothing about.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So what was your inspiration for women as entrepreneurs, and what is a problem that you're trying to solve with that venture?
Yeah, so I decided to become an entrepreneur, and I started a small business with my partner. And I wanted to meet other entrepreneurs who were going through the same problems, who already had their businesses, and I wanted to learn from them. I think that entrepreneurs learn from each other. It's very difficult just to study this on your own. You have to interact with people, and you need a community for that. And I just could not find the community that I felt happy in, and which I was comfortable and fit my needs. So I find that the entrepreneurial space was very male-dominated. The startup space, the mentors, the investors, the majority of them are all male. So then I started to look for something else, and I find that most women's networks were very corporate focused, had a very corporate focus, and I think that's very different from the entrepreneurial mindset. So I just couldn't find my community, and I started it.
That's a great story. In your opinion, what is the most common problem that women face as entrepreneurs?
I think starting out is just really trusting ourselves and taking that leap. I think leaving the safe environment and starting something from scratch is really risky, and I think women are not as comfortable taking risks than normally men are. It's a very much generalization, but this is what I find, that actually taking the leap. And I think that's why the community around you is so useful, because if you have the inspiration and you have other people telling that you can do it, I could do it, this is how I did, this is what I've learned, then you're more likely to feel comfortable taking the leap.
Thank you. What are some of the challenges that you faced, and how did you overcome them?
So I started from nothing. I didn't have connections. I wasn't born here, and I was in a very different space, academia, with students and in research with amazing people. I was very privileged to be among very intelligent people and was challenged on a daily basis. But for me, just starting everything from scratch, I think the beginning is the most difficult when you're building a business or building a community. In my case, I was building a community. So I constantly had to keep up the momentum and just put a lot of work and energy into building it. The other thing also, the confidence, because I'm not from an entrepreneur family. I didn't know anyone who ran a business, or let alone ran a successful business. So finding that inspiration, that was challenging. And this is why I started to video interview women entrepreneurs as well, because I couldn't find that inspiration online or in the media.
That's really cool. So you talked about community and building community as part of you building your own business. How did you go about that? And how does someone who's starting out do that for themselves?
I am on the phone a lot with my members and potential members, but the customers. I spend most of my time talking to customers, and I think this would be my advice to people starting out or entrepreneurs who like to grow. Spend as much time as you can talking to your customers, because there is no point of building a product, even if it's the perfect product, if no one cares about it or no one needs it. You have to keep improving by talking to your customers and just finding out their needs, their dreams, what they eat, what they read, where they spend their day, everything you can about them.
Wow, that's pretty detailed.
Every day you gotta know your target market. Just have to know. Everyone has. If a business says that my target market is everyone, that's I think that could be in a way of success on a long run. You have to be aware of your target market and you have to know them. And you know what? I think people really appreciate that. Business has changed a lot. Business is very personal now. You have to put yourself forward because you are your business, and people do business with people they like. I think it's just, so at first you put out there what you have to offer at that point in time, and you just see what happens. You see who you attract, and you start to learn more about the people you attract, and then I think you can make a decision whether they are the right people, or you can say no, they're not the right people. I want to attract a different group of people. So you have to communicate your vision better. I've gotten a lot better in communicating my vision, and I'm attracting the right people now. Okay. So I think it's just as you go, speak to who you attract, and always try to match it up with your vision and go from there. My vision is to empower women to start their businesses and make a difference in the world.
Now, you talked about starting with nothing. Let's talk about money and finance. How did you actually finance the business, and what's your philosophy around that?
You know what? Apart from, because I started Women as Entrepreneurs on meetup.com, which is a website where people who don't know each other yet, they find each other through a common interest. So if there's people like rock climbing, that there's a group of rock climbing, and you can connect with people who are into rock climbing. And this was a very good way to start out because you can test your idea very quickly. So you just put it out there, and if people like it, then you see the potential in it. If no one cares, then... So back to your question, which was?
How did you finance the business? So you started doing meetups, and then where did the money come in?
Oh, the money, yeah. So obviously, as a startup, you have very lean budget, basically zero. So apart from paying that meetup fee I needed to pay to keep the group going, I did not pay for anything. And that was actually a conscious decision for me because I wanted to see how far I could go with no money. So I got help from my partner to build the website. So we built the website together. It's a WordPress website, free template. So we only put our time into it. I never paid for any advertisement. Pretty much really nothing, because I wanted to see how far I could go. And now I really wonder, like, if we come this far in a shorter time than a year, then how far we could have come with money. Although I think I would have spent the money wrongly, because I know much more now about the business, about the vision, about my target market, then I probably would have spent the money on things that were not necessary, looking back. So I actually think that it's a good thing to have no budget at the beginning. It makes you more resourceful. It makes you use your time better, and it teaches you a lot.
Okay. All right.
And I'm very lucky because I built a community, and the community is helping me it's amazing what the help I receive from my community. Because everyone has their own unique skills and knowledge, and most people in this space, and because I like attracting people who are keen to make a difference, they're very, very happy to help, just help out. I get asked all the time, how can I help you? Because they see that I'm doing it on my own, and they appreciate that because they do the same. So we really help each other out. It's amazing.
That's really cool. Very great. How did you actually find a mentor?
Actually, this was a breakthrough point in my business. When I started out towards the end of last year, I wasn't sure the format of. I didn't start it out as a business. I started out as a hobby. I didn't find my community, so I started to build it because I wanted to genuinely meet people who are like-minded people. So I had no idea where it was heading towards. And for a long time I thought that I wanted to be a non-profit because I'm just passionate about social change. So in the first few months, or the profit that was in the business or in the venture, I donated to a non-profit organization who is helping women set up their own businesses in developing countries. So I just didn't feel like I wanted to make money of it, or I wanted to take it to another level. I think it was not even something that I knew, not knowing much about entrepreneurship at the beginning. And then I met this amazing woman at an event. She was speaking at an event, and I approached her after the event. I really wanted to have a coffee with her and pick her brain. And I actually really wanted her to be my mentor. And she's got a high position with the corporate. She told me she's in the non-profit sector, and she told me that, Orsi, I will mentor you, and I see great potential in what you're doing, and I love your passion, and I'm happy to mentor you and spend time with you if you are a for-profit business and make it really big. Because this is how you can make the biggest difference. If you want to make a difference, you gotta play big. And this was like a kick in the bum for me. And I went home and I just thought, wow, she's right. If I want to make a big difference on a larger scale, I have to play the big game and take it to a high level. And ever since that, I'm doing that. And I'm very confident with where I am. And it is a business. On the other side, because I have a community of business owners, I have to lead as an example. See, I grow with them. I started from nothing, and everything I achieved is my own achievement, which I'm very proud of. And if the people see that, I can be an inspiration for them. So it was very important for this particular venture, Women as Entrepreneurs, to be a for-profit venture and take it to the next level.
Okay, thanks so much for the interview.
Pleasure to be here.
It's been wonderful. Okay, so how do people find out about what you're doing?
We have a website, womenasentrepreneurs.com.au. We are on Facebook, Women as Entrepreneurs, and Twitter, we_Sydney. That's me on Twitter. I'm very approachable. We have an awesome community. And men are welcome to support us.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. So we're wrapping up today. That's Global Entrepreneurship Week. Story of an entrepreneur. Okay, if you want some more information on what's going on and to keep up to date with our next series of interviews, head to australianentrepreneurship.com. We'll catch you next time. Cheers.
Let me just also say that I think what you guys are doing is amazing, and keep up the good work. Thank you so much for having me
Thank you
here today. It's a pleasure.
Yeah!
Yay!